welcome to our second tutorial of the student data analysis application. In this tutorial we're going to go through the data addition screens of this application. Now before I start, I would like to mention something that I might have missed mentioning in the first tutorial, which is you need to make sure that you always keep a backup copy of this application. Make sure after you're done entering data or adding data to this application on a weekly or even daily basis, it should not take more than a few seconds, that you take a backup copy and keep it on a different hard drive, on your mail, on an online space, online drive that is. That would guarantee that you do not lose your data. In case you lose your data, keeping a backup copy, a backup blank copy that is, would help you start over new. Hopefully that would never be the case. Now let's get down to business. Okay, so we have our index screen here. We have already explained what we need to do with this screen in our previous tutorial, from entering the quarter dates, starting and ending dates for each quarter, to inputting our scale. Like I said, as an example, we are using a scale of 0 to 10 per criteria. Now the thing about the quarters is you don't need to enter them at the beginning of the year. You just need to enter at least the first quarter. That way you can generate reports that show performance during a certain quarter or assess students during a certain quarter. Again, I remind you that the word add grades on this button over here do not in any way mean that you are grading the students or that this is a grading application. This application is solely made to ensure that you could assess student strengths and weaknesses using it. First off, we have the add criteria screen. Now I took the liberty of adding criteria. You are allowed 27 criteria within this application. I've already added these criteria to the database, and I have input them again on the screen just to show you what happens when you exceed your 27 criteria. Now if I try to add criteria over here, it tells me that I have used all my 27 available criteria. Please contact the developer if you require customization. I don't think we will need more than 27 criteria. However, let me explain the criteria I've added to the system and that has populated all over the tables and forms of this application. Fragments, run-ons, topic sentence, conclusion sentence. I guess it's making itself clear. These criteria I added here are basically for the evaluating the student writing progress in English. Now let's go back to the index screen where we can access other screens. On every screen I remind you that you will find an index link that could take you back to the main screen. Now that we're back on the main screen, let's go to adding classes and students. Now I've already took the liberty of adding 4 classes, and I've already as well added students for the 5th class over here. I've already added students for the first 4 but not the 5th. Now all you need to do is enter a new class over here. If you want to add a class like 6F, I've already added 6A to 6E. Now I'm adding the class. You get this pop-up message. You're about to finalize this record. Check everything before you proceed. Yes, that adds our class. Now let's try. Add class. Yes. Okay. Same goes for adding students. Now instead we don't add a student by student. Instead we add as many students as we want, not really as many. We have a limit of 30 per class, which should not be needed. Now you have to pick the class you want to add students to from the drop down menu over here, and then add all the students you need to add. Then click add students. You get the same message. You're about to finalize this record. Check everything before you proceed. Yes, that adds all the students. Now in case You do not want to add them once that pop-up appears. You just need to press no, and it takes you back to the screen without adding the students, and you could just edit whatever you need to edit before you add them, or add whatever you missed adding before you do so. Now the next screen is the Add Assignments screen. We have a link for it on the Add Class and Add Students form. Let's click the Add Assignments. We're here now. Now all we need to do over here for each assignment is add an assignment date and an assignment name. I've chosen to add a date, 24 June 2016, and an assignment name of Essay Writing 5. I'm going to click Add Assignment. Yes. Okay. And it goes the same way. Now once I've added criteria, assignments, classes, and students, I am ready to go ahead for the final step, adding grades or evaluation points. So adding grades. Now with adding grades, we have too many options. I'm going to delete the data we added here. Okay, so 6A. I've already added points over here for performance on each of these criteria, fragments, run-ons. As you can see, you have all your criteria up top here. Let me scroll and show you. All of your 27 added criteria. Now, besides having these criteria over here, we need to select an assignment name. Once you select an assignment, let's change the assignment over here. Essay Writing 2, the date changes automatically to the date you have already added to the database. Essay Writing 4, Essay Writing 5, etc. Now, we also need to select our class. 6A, B, C, D, E, F, G, C. The classes we just added are already here now. Cool. We're choosing 6A. Now we have two options in adding students. Let's assume you're going to grade or assess 3 students on a given night. You need to go to sleep after that, wake up in the morning, go to work, do whatever, and then come back and do the rest later. This will give you an option to select the students over here through drop-down menus in each line, selecting the students from 6A basically, or you could instead auto-populate students and it will give you all the students in that class. Now remember one thing, do not use auto-populate if you're going to only correct or assess certain students, grade certain papers, whatever. Do not use auto-populate in that case because you need to make sure that there are no spaces. For example, if I delete Sarah Henderson over here, I will have an issue adding to database because the data is basically copied to the database by reading items until there is a space, or names or numbers until there is a space. So basically, and that does not work for all fields, but only for the student field, because you can leave as many fields blank in the rest of the table over here with no problem, with no issue. But within the student names, you will have an issue if you have white space like this field over here. So if you auto-populate students, make sure you go in the right order. If you delete students in the middle, make sure you replace them with other students in that spot in which you deleted a student. Now, from the add grades, screen, you want to make sure that you are adding students from a class that already has students in the database. Now, look at this, 6E has these, but if you go to 6F, there are no students for 6F. Now, If you click auto populate students, it will tell you that you have not added students to 6F yet. What you need to do in that case is go to add class students from the link over here, add the students you need to add, of course select again like we said before 6F, add the students need to add, then click add students, then you can go back to add grades and grade those students. Now if we go back to 6A over here, auto populate students, have already, like I said, taken the liberty of adding some data into the input screens to make this as quick as possible, and in order not to bore you, pretty much if we click on add grades, we'll get the same message. You're about to finalize this record. Check everything before you proceed. So do you want to finalize it? Let's say no. If we click no, we're back to the same screen. Like I said before, we have no issues. If we click yes, the data is added to the database. I'm given a message, your data has been added successfully. Okay, the form clears and we can add new data to it. That being said, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next tutorial. If you like this video, please make sure to like it, subscribe to our YouTube channel and our Google Plus page, and if you like the application and like what you see here, make sure you purchase it from teacherspayteachers.com from our store over there. Just stay tuned. Thank you very much, and see you in a future video.